Hey, how's everybody doing? Spike here, and guess what? I'm close to graduating. Yeah. I've been going to the YouTube University to learn how to build guitars for several years now. You know, the tuition's free for the most part, except you buy a lot of tools and stuff, you know. Get what you get. Don't throw a fit. You learn how to do things from people that know how, and that's the way you do things. And I'm so happy to have those people that are willing to share what they know, and I try to do the same, share what little bit I know with people too. But let me tell you, I've got some guys in my list that are basically in my YouTube University. This is my list of instructors right here. Now look down this list right here. You'll see some people you probably know and you watch too. Let me tell you what, I get a lot of good information. I learn a lot of good methods, and I have really enjoyed the things I've picked up from all these guys over the years. So let me go through this little list for you and tell you about all the different guys and, well, what they've contributed to me and kind of brought to me to help me get along with this, okay? Because, you know, you can get your inspiration from wherever you want to. For me, my inspiration comes from people that I enjoy watching and people that show me things that help me. And I learn from all kind of people. You'll find that out when you look over this list right here. So let me go over it right quick and explain them to you, okay? Okay, we're going to start off with Texas Toast, Chris and Matt. Now, Chris lays down paint like, well, man, he can paint. That's beautiful. And Matt, he's got different ways of doing things, and he thinks he's cute. You know, that mustache he talks about, you know, when I was young, I used to have one of them too. But now mine's just old and gray. But yeah, you know, but Matt and Chris, they put out the good stuff. They got methods that just blow you away. And Matt's old school wood carpenter. He works with his hands and works with wood. He's not a real CNC guy and that kind of thing, you know. So that's what we got from him. And I picked up all the hand working things and the tools and the pen router. Okay, that's just all there is to it. You can't talk about Texas Toast without talking about the beloved pen router.
I have a love affair with this tool. I've made videos about my love affair with this tool. If you don't have a pin router, sorry, you can still enjoy the video, I guess.
And well, what I've got out here is I've got a Shopsmith set up as an overhead router, and I put a pin in from the bottom, so I got my own beloved pin router, but it's my design. So yeah, he inspired me that way because I just seen how easy it worked and how good it cut. Yeah. And so that's number one. Number two on this list is going to be Paul from Mile House Studios. Now, he brings something to the table that others don't bring. Energy.
Welcome back. If you've not watched the previous episodes or every video I've ever made, you're a toenail. I've got no respect for you, but you can earn it back. You can earn it back and go and watch them, but don't go too far back because the early videos are proper shit.
A little bit of a different attitude. He kind of just fit in, and I worked construction my whole life, so whatever Paul says doesn't really bother me.
Paul's in a fucking rush. I could barely keep up with that absolute nutter. Slow it down. What do you think, Fred?
Okay, number three on this list is Chris from Highline Guitars. Now, Chris has got a level of intelligence that some people probably ain't figured out yet. Now, he's taught me a lot, and he taught me a lot about the CNC and about holding work and about doing work and that kind of thing. And well, yeah, I'd like to say that that's another one that definitely was one of my instructors in the CNC side of this schooling.
Or that are actually screwed into holes on the wasteboard. This wasteboard is MDF. It's 3/4 of an inch thick.
I cut the old Modern out on the CNC last night, so it ain't like I can't do it, okay? So we're getting it figured out. And I built my own CNC machine just like he did on his first one. Yeah, I think we're going to live with it. Let's see what it does. Keep on cutting. The homemade CNC. After we talk about Chris at Highline Guitars, we're going to go in another direction here. We're going to Sean at Scar My Guitar. So, yeah, all I can say is he does things a little different on CNC. Never seen anybody do it before, but he uses hot glue to put stuff on the CNC machine, and I had to try it. I mean, you know, I'm not going to see it and not try it. So, yep, I tried it out there. Guess what? It for sure works. I think I'll use pins like I usually do. And, I usually put pins in all my stuff like this, locator pins. But hot glue, man, that's cheaper. It's cheaper than double-sided tape, and it's a lot smarter than that tape and super glue thing. I mean, I got super glue, but darn, it's expensive. Tape, masking tape ain't expensive, but the super glue is. And when you open one up, next thing you do is it dries out and goes bad. So yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with him on that one, dude. The hot glue gun, that was a trick shot.
Slotting blade on it from StewMac. And then I have this cool board that Billy made me. Keep all these clamps off the tables. Man, I used to have such a problem in the other shop, the clamps always being in the way. It's not going to show you itself. That's no flip-flapping. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's a good trick. And you share all this stuff with people, and it's a good thing. I appreciate it. Sean does things a little different, that's for sure. I mean, it's probably the first guy I ever seen took a piece of wood and hollowed that out and made an acoustic guitar out of it. I mean, just hollowed it out like, well, kind of like that. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. But he didn't do what I did. I don't. Well, he probably did, but he didn't tell anybody about it. But I went right through the back of mine over here with the router, and it got away from me. I had it on the table. I was doing so good right there on the overhead router, and I was sitting there, just grabbed it and run up the shaft. Yeah. Yeah, pin router, overhead router. Yeah, you better be careful. But yeah, he's got different methods. Now, see, on the inside of this, he'd take a sanding disc on the end of a drill and flatten the end of it out. Yeah, that's the way he does things. But I tell you what, he gets them done. So Sean is the no bull, get it done guy when you got to get something finished. And that's what he's going to do. So, hey, he brings that to the table to get it done and make it happen. The next guy on here, Dan from Guns and Guitars. He teach you how to put dirt grain in a wood, or how to build a base, or how to use that little small CNC machine and then that little bit bigger CNC machine.
Support the neck as we go all the way across the neck. And this method is awesome because, you know, you're literally using your same sanding block that you use for your radius, and it just ensures that your frets stay at that perfect radius as well.
And how to work with a little bit of tools and make something instead of all them big rooms full of tools like some of the other guys. But he gets it done a different way, so I'm gonna give him a little credit for he's the get it done with a little as you can guy, and that's kind of like me. I mean, I got $500 worth of shop smiths and 2 homemade CNC machines. But yeah, that's one of the good ones there. Dan, he really enjoyed the guy, good Christian guy, and I just appreciate him. Okay, next guy on this list is gonna be Big D, Derek, the stain guy, the one that taught me how to make color. Go on wood and come out looking like I want it to, you know, like, well, that one and that one. Yeah. Yeah. Derek's the stain guy.
And how do you get rid of these little cracks in the binding? And you don't. What you can do is you can scrape as much as you can to get this little bit of coloring out. What happens is as you're bending around the curves, the binding cracks slightly.
Angelus dies. The man knows Angelus dies. He knows how to make them work. Getting finished on a guitar, getting it to seal, getting it to not blotch up. That's where you're going to learn something like that. And he'll come out and make a video, and then every now and then he'll put the truss rod in the back of the neck of a guitar or something crazy too. Might have learned something like that from him on that bass over there, back there too. You have to do what you have to do. You learn from those that teach, you know? So, hey, it's not a world where everything's just in your head automatic. You got to learn from somebody. And hey, I appreciate every one of these people that gives that for us. So yeah, but Derek, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the color. Appreciate the help with the colors. Appreciate you lighting me up and showing me how to make the colors. Okay, so thank you a lot. Okay, the next one here, I'm gonna put this one on you here. Y'all know this one. This is Ben from Crimson Guitars. Now Ben's he's got imagination. He's got skills. He's got determination, and he's kind of like me, kind of all over the place sometimes. It works. That old ADHD brain I got works all over the place. He just wouldn't know what it's like in here some days. But yeah, I appreciate all the work he's done. And the biggest thing is the excitement he puts in everybody else. I mean, he got us all thinking about, you know, we can build a guitar. Let's watch this while we're home locked up with COVID, and I was going to start learning to build guitars. So that's what I did. I couldn't do a lot of things, but I could go out in the shop and be able to learn to build a guitar. So that's what I done. And that was the first one right there. I learned to use a CNC to cut the body, and then I got that neck put on it and tuned it all, made it all work. And that was my first one. I got it done, and I was happy as heck. And so, and Ben's the one that influenced that and made that happen. I have to say that Ben's tools are really nice, really nice. I've got a few of them over here. I've got some Crimson stuff there, and there. And yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, he brings something to the table. like complication. And some of those other strange things he's built along the way. But, you know, will I build that? No. But will I impress by it? Yes. Was it teaching me something? Yes. Mostly patience. Yeah, that'd be the word. Mostly to build something like that, patience, which I don't have, you know, so that might be a problem. That's the reason I don't take on a project like that. Okay, guys. Now, being at Crimson, he put us on a path and got a lot of us going, and he brought us all together because he got us all in a contest together. So that got us knowing each other. So next thing on the list, one of my other buddies, Brad Ango. Brad up in Canada, I think it is up there, and he builds kits a lot and does a really good job. He'll take a guitar kit's $120 and turn it into a really beautiful guitar. I mean, and make it nice. And
today we are going to be putting spray cans up against paint guns to talk about what is going to work better for you, what's going to help you get the best quality finish.
From him, I learned a lot. His finishing techniques are great, and his assemblies, and just in general, we picked up so much from somebody that's just willing to share it. And Brad's one of those that's just willing to share and help us all out. And hey, I appreciate him for that. Couldn't ask for a better guy. I sent him a message and asked a couple of questions, and I got replies and answers and help. And that's something that, you know, somebody sends me a message and asks for help, I'm going to try to answer them if I can. And I know some of you guys are real busy. Y'all can't do that. Y'all don't have the time, but I do. After we leave Brad Angove here up in Canada, we're going to come down and we're going to get to Ohio, where a couple of places are. First of all, that's where Trogley's at. And if y'all are interested in old guitars, y'all probably know Trogley. And I try to watch Trogley every day just to see things that I know I can't have.
Let's go ahead and learn a bit about the history of them. For the 1957 NAMM show, 4 new designs came from Gibson: the Flying V, Explorer, Futura, and Modern. Now you might recognize 2 of those, but the other 2 remain in obscurity for Gibson's history.
That I ought to try to build or whatever, because just like the 58s, there's not one 58 model guitar I can afford to buy. I can't buy any of them. 335, I seen one other day. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be buying that. Now, if you wonder why I got all these guitars laid out here, you know, this one's going back in the pile over there, but I got this Gibson, got some limba here to make necks out of. Right here, some nice limba to make a necks out of. I got about 5 or 6 of those stacked up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to batch this stuff. I mean, for me, it's easier with this little shop. It's if I cut all the guitars and get them all rough shape and just let them sit for ever how long it takes me to make the necks. Then when the necks are ready, I can fit the neck in each guitar, because I'm not going to cut the neck pocket. I can go back and put the neck in each guitar and get them all done. And, you know, that'll be kind of like on my way to graduation, okay? So my senior project is I decided to build all the 1958 guitars I can build. Well, 1958 is the best year you could ever build. I mean, you can't build a better year of guitars than that. If you can, tell me any year that's got better guitars than 1958. I want to hear it. I want you to explain it to me, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard to beat 1958. Gibson in 1958 put the first burst out with that burst finished on it. Yeah, the nice, you know, the real pretty wood. Yeah, that's when the burst started, 58. And the 335 hanging in the room in there, 58. Explorer, 58. Flying V, which is on the CNC machine around there right now, 58. The Modern, they got the patent in 58, but they say they didn't make any, but somebody said there was 3 of them made, and one of them was at the guitar show at NAMM in 58. I don't know if it was NAMM or whatever it was called back then, trade show. Don't know, but that's just what I heard. But, you know, I decided I'd build as many 58s as I could, so I got to looking and finding out there's a whole lot of Gibsons there. I mean, that's not 5. Okay, now you got to turn around. Fender, that was the year they made the Jazzmaster. Yeah. And then Rickenbacker had one, a new one. I get real interested in Trogley when he shows out some old guitars, and I get to learn all the information about them. If you will take the time to learn from people that know more than you do, well, heck, you'll know something at the end. That's the way I always look at it. I mean, you know, no other way around it. If you know, you either take somebody's advice or learn it the hard way. That's the way I always look at it. You know, you can do either one, but I think advice is better than the hard way. Okay, guys, now I'm still in Ohio, so I figured I might as well finish this off while I'm up there. I'm gonna give this one to Steer Mac, Mr. Dan Irwin. I've learned so much from watching that man's videos over the years about so many things that I could make me better and learn better. And I mean, I got a little box in my bathroom that you open the door up and you can spray a little bit and it takes the fumes out of that fan outside. Yeah, he's got one in his shop. Yeah, I learned stuff like that from somebody along the way. And Stu Mac, you know, where he's tied in with, you can't ask for better parts. I mean, if I order something, I usually get it next day or so, and it's right on time, and it's good solid, like this piece of limbo. Really solid wood, ready to go. Make some guitar necks out of, and you know, it's just the knowledge that they have on their website. I mean, if you want to know something, go look it up on website at StuMac, because they probably got better knowledge than most websites that you'll find. It'll be right, and there'll be a lot of it. And so, to me, it's just kind of a smart place to go look for information. So, I kind of look as that one being the library and the custodian of information, you know, Dan and the StuMac guys. So, yeah, that's the way I'm looking at those people, guys. I mean, it's just the general idea of who can teach what and who can help what and what are you going to learn? I mean, in this world today, you could go to school and spend a bunch of money, go to college, but then you got a bunch of student loans, and nobody wants that, I don't think. I wouldn't want any part of it. But then you could also just go to work for somebody as an apprentice and learn under them. But those opportunities are rare nowadays. I mean, I'd probably take one on to help me, but it's only because I need help. Guys, go out, take your brain and put your brain to it. And somebody says you're wasting your time watching YouTube. You might be if you're watching something stupid. But if you're watching somebody that's teaching you something, you're not wasting your time. You're not. Be probably the best use of your time you could ever have is to do something that makes educate you. People can't take that away from you. I'm working on my graduate degree. I'm gonna learn to do binding. I'm gonna learn to do inlays. There's people that can help you learn those things, and you should take advantage of it. I really want to do this. I want to thank all the guys that gave me the information to help me get where I'm at and get me on the way. I guess I got my undergraduate degree right this minute. And to get my master's, I'm going to have to finish this whole batch of guitars. Okay, guys, now that I've showed you who my teachers are, I'm going to show you what I can get done in the next little while here on these guitars. And we're going to work on the Moderns and the Gibsons and all that stuff and just try to have a good time with it and finish them off and have fun. And they may be pretty good and they may be okay. You know, we'll just do what we can, make the best of it we can. I got a big old box of parts from that guy the other day, so I got enough bridges to build 40 guitars. But I don't have any much strings either. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, now, Paul, my house, you got it made, man. Dario string? Okay, folks, if you would, do me a favor and subscribe because we're going to follow along and help me finish these things out. Now, we'll take your input on colors and ideas and different things along the way. I mean, everything you can do to help me out, I appreciate. Who on YouTube has inspired you to do things or taught you to do things that you wanted to do? I'd like to know. Some of the same people I've got, or just somebody new I need to know about, I'd like to know that. The truth is, none of us figured this out on our own. Yeah, do me a favor, go tell them thank you, okay? Do that for me. Yeah, I think that'd be a smart thing to do, nice thing to do. You know, like I say, no student loans. The only thing I got invested is time and tools and brain power. But, probably didn't have a lot of that to go with anyway. Y'all take care of yourselves. Remember this, God loves you and so do I, and you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it on guitar parts, what my wife told me. Oh, well, no, and that's not the way she put that, right, I don't think. But anyway, got a lot to do, guys. But I got education now to do it with. So let's get done with this senior project and get graduated out of this magnum cum laude or laude or whatever it is and get ourselves graduated, okay? So thank you all for joining me. Come back anytime. 58 Bill project is wide open, and there's a chunk of sycamore right there. Gonna get these laid out on it and cut out of it. One of the next things going on. So y'all take care. We'll see you soon, okay? Next time. Later on. Gotta go.